Hey guys, what's up? Hey, so I think that this morning's video kind of set this one up. I wanted to take a quick look here today at the difference between a goalkeeper and a sweeper keeper, right? So we know that it does mean something, right? We might not like the fact that it means something, but we know that it does. And the reason why we know that it means something is because players will get upset with you if they have you as a goalkeeper, or if you play them as a goalkeeper when they should be a sweeper keeper, and vice versa. If you play somebody as a sweeper keeper when they really should be a goalkeeper, they'll be a little bit upset and they won't want to, work with you or play the right way with you. Or as I know from playing previous versions of Football Manager, they might not want to sign with you if you have them in on loan. So the big question then is, what is the difference, and how do we figure out like which one we want to do? Do we, when do we use a sweeper keeper? When do we use an actual goalkeeper? And does it really make that big of a difference? To put it like really, really bluntly and really quickly, right? The difference has to do with where the goalkeeper is playing. So we'll take a quick look here at what I have found on the wonderful internet. Here we go. Sorry about this. I'm going to have to change my view here a little bit so you can actually see me. And let's make this a little bit smaller. What happened here on Arch Linux the other day is I was having a completely unrelated problem, so I deleted a whole bunch of configuration files trying to fix it. And it didn't fix the problem, and instead has reset all of the OBS settings. And so here I am in the middle of a video changing stuff. This is from FM Inside. I just found this with a Google search. And it explains to you quite clearly here that the sweeper keeper proves to be a great option when you're playing with a high defensive line and pressing high up the pitch, which is exactly what I said, right? If you have a high defensive line, the sweeper keeper can sometimes go up and get the ball and grab it before the opposition's move really begins. So instead of sitting back waiting for the ball to come, what you're doing is you're playing further up and you're trying to prevent attacks from coming in before they fully materialize. That's the sort of theory behind it, right? And so when we go, it's going to take me a second here to get these preferences set right here in Football Manager. We're having all of the full screen blues here. Here we go. When we look at Football Manager, someone the other day said they didn't like this tactic view. I'm not quite sure why, but so it is. We all have our own separate view. I thought this was great. If we go here and we take a look at the sweeper keeper and at these instructions, we can see here, if you're a goalkeeper, as you can see down at the bottom with the little video they give you, you will play back and you will guard the goal. If you're a sweeper keeper, you tend to play up forward, see? So if you're a sweeper keeper on defend like this, you'll play a little bit back forward, or you'll play a bit further back, but you will come up to try to stop the counterattack before it happens. So you play almost like you're an extra defender. And if you're on an attack duty, you will be a lot more willing to go up there and do this. You will, in fact, start traveling a long way outside of your area. We have ours on the support duty, which is kind of, the best of both worlds. We don't necessarily want him to play too far back. I would argue, though, that in this tactic, in the three at the back tactic, you really need a sweeper keeper. I also am starting to believe that you really need, whatever this is here, a defensive midfielder or a halfback. You need somebody here on a defend duty, right? You don't want to have necessarily another person on a support duty. You could have an anchor playing back here. Like I said, you could have a halfback playing back here to be able to get back and prevent things from happening. What we have here is the defensive midfielder who will, as you can see, as it's shown here, will go a little bit further back down, and we'll try to recycle possession from that deeper position. It might be fun, actually, to play with this and put a halfback out there instead. The reason why we're doing this is because we're trying to make sure that there are guys here to help compensate for the fact that we only have these three defenders on the back in cases in which we will need a fourth person, right? I like to have the keeper play as another defender. I like to have at least one defender here come back and play. And, of course, it is nice if our wingbacks can get back, though, as you can see, it's not really the thing that they're designed to do so much. They can go back, but they're going to want to probably stop like around this part of the pitch, which is why we need somebody else back and somebody maybe to come up a little bit forward. That's the idea behind it, right? Now, Leach Haba doesn't like this, right? Thapelo Leach Haba is only 20 years old. My thoughts are, you're 20 years old. He's got the lighthearted personality. I don't know what his professionalism level is. I'm guessing that is actually probably pretty good since he's already a full international, right? He clearly has a lot of skill and ability. His best role, however, is goalkeeper. That's what he really wants to play. It hasn't fully affected his happiness yet. I was looking at this and I'm not seeing that he's like really upset. He loves me as a coach because I keep starting him. He doesn't like his training and doesn't like his individual training. It's possibility, see, we only have him learning goalkeeping. Maybe we should have him on as a sweeper keeper here on support and have him learn this role instead. That might be a little bit better. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. But that might make it a little bit easier for him to continue to make this transition, right? This is the part where Football Manager becomes interesting. I know I was talking about this just the other day. The question here is, do we do what this player really wants to do, even if it doesn't help the team overall? Or do we say, hey, look, you've got to change to this training position, and we want you to play it this way, regardless of what you're interested in or what you're natural as. My approach is always, I'm going to play the game the way I want to play it, and you're either going to do what I want you to do, or you're off the team. Now, how has this worked so far? Well, when we look at his form, we can see that he's had excellent ratings for the most part in these matches, and they're getting better. So he's improving, he's doing better, learning the position as he has more experience with it. He has had only 2 clean sheets so far this season, 11 conceded in 8 matches, which isn't awful especially considering how many goals we're scoring. Hopefully, as we continue, his conceded goals will continue to be low, and he'll start piling up these appearances and piling up these clean sheets. If it doesn't happen this season, it's okay, right? I mean, like I said, he's only 20 years old. I could see him staying on our team for many, many years to come, especially if he manages to stay in the Lesotho national team. But my point behind this is, like, this guy's not 23 yet. He's still in a position in which he can probably learn how to play sweeper keeper, right? He can probably, like, develop some of these attributes a little bit. Remember, there's no numbers here, but he could probably develop some of these to the point where, yeah, he's actually got some sort of first touch, some sort of ball control. He can do something out there instead of just running away and, making a sort of flailing attempt at doing what I'm trying to tell him to do, right? We're in Taiwan. It's not like, we are against the best competition in the world, right? We're in Taiwan. He doesn't have to be the best sweeper keeper of all time. But if we keep working with him and keep developing him, and if he continues to make progress, hopefully we will see him become a much better sweeper keeper. You can see here his progress has actually gone down a little bit, and that's because of that unhappiness with training. So there you have it. We haven't had him for that long. It's only been a couple months. We're going to keep an eye on this and see what happens in the end. Of course, as always, if we find like a model citizen keeper who's younger, we'll take him instead. We really don't have anybody in the under-18s who's like an incredible goalkeeper, but it might be the case that one of these guys ends up getting the call. I mean, I don't know, Wu Shengjie is, 17 years old, right? And he doesn't have quite the ability yet, does have, again, the lighthearted personality, so he might be a good alternative. And his best role as sweeper keeper might be something to keep in mind. Maybe this is the guy of the future. I don't know. Anyway, love to hear what you have to think about the sweeper keeper goalkeeper controversy. Is one better than the other? Does it even matter? Is this really boring? Let me know whatever you think. I will talk with you later. Bye-bye.